Who do I want as coaches of Cleveland Browns? I truly don't give a fuck. One guy I don't want, and he'll probably end up by hiring him, is Kevin Stefanski. I just don't like the looks of the guy. I don't know why. There's some people you just meet, you don't like the looks of them. I don't know. I just don't like the looks of him. Kyle Shanahan, I don't like the looks of him either. He wears that hat with that straight brim like he's slinging rocks somewhere on the south side. Thinks he's a badass. Don't like him. When in fact, he's going to look like his fucking red-faced father in about 15 months, 15 years. All old, weathered, drunk, alcoholic. Stefanski, what's he done? What's Kirk Cousins done? We need someone that's going to come in there and say, you know what? If Garrett Gilbert outplays Baker Mayfield, he's going to be the starter opening day. That's what I would do. I'm no longer married to Baker Mayfield. The idea, listen, I know Baker can play, and I know it was Freddie Kitchens. I know all that. But my quarterback that behaves like a child, like a high school fucking kid, I'm not so sure I want that anymore. Baker, it was fun in the beginning, but it's old now. It's when I seen you fucking, if I was a player, I'm surprised players still like you, but I get the feeling that players still like you. I don't get it. You need to come back, keep your mouth shut, play, and if you have a season like in the middle of the season, you got 23 TDs, 4 interceptions, I don't want to hear you run your mouth. Don't want to hear nothing. Don't want to hear a peep out of you. Play the fucking game. Goes for you too, Odell Beckham. The watch, all that bullshit, I don't want to see that shit. All you motherfuckers need to grow the fuck up if you want to win a championship. If you notice New England, you don't see this shit. You don't see none of that shit. People wearing watches. You don't see it. And I know Odell wants to win. There's no doubt he's a good player. But visor, watch, and the one-handed catch pregame, no one cares about that when you drop routine balls. Odell drops a lot of easy balls, and that's because he's so infatuated with the one-handed catch, sometimes he forgets to catch with two hands. Cleveland's got talent. Boy, I would love to coach that team. Boy, would I love to have that fucking roster. But if I was the coach of that team, Baker Mayfield would be a different player. Keep his mouth shut. So far, my front runnings, I like Josh McDaniels. I don't know why. I feel that him or Mike McCarthy. Look, McCarthy can come in right now and make that team 12 wins. Guaranteed. And he's not going to take shit from Mayfield. Trust me. But I want this team to succeed. And John Dorsey, everyone says, well, a lot of people say we shouldn't have fought. Listen, it had nothing to do with the Baker Mayfield pick. Baker's going to be a good quarterback. The problem was he didn't address the offensive line. In fact, he got rid of a good, valuable piece of the offensive line. He basically built a fantasy roster. That's what he did. Fantasy roster. And you shouldn't hear from a GM ever, but John Dorsey was always to be heard from. You shouldn't ever hear from the guy. He got talent, but he didn't address in football, if you don't have the talent up front, you're not going to do shit. I don't care who the fuck your quarterback is. Mayfield is lucky to actually have more touchdowns than interceptions this year. Because he had no up front. It was horrible. But that's not the main problem. The main problem was the play calling. It was so unbelievable. Oh, my God. It was like Freddie never call. I'm dumbfounded. I knew every play the Browns were going to call. They ran them like 9 plays, and you probably went through them like 3 or 4 times a game. So the next coach, I don't care who it is. I don't want to be buddy with the players. That don't work. Why do you think Mike Tomlin has 1 Super Bowl only with all the talent he's had? Because he wants to be one of the guys. You ain't going to be one of the guys, motherfucker. You ain't going to be one of the guys. It had to be done. It had to be done. John Dorsey should have said, you know what? He should have just stayed there as a talent scout because he did find talent. But he should have never been in charge of picking the final say because Antonio Callaway is another piece. He could have been a fucking great player in this league, but he's a dopehead. That's a shame when you got guys like that could be great and they just rather smoke weed. If someone can't, listen, I'm not going to lie, I like weed. I do. I used to be dead set against it, but now I haven't had weed probably I smoked it a couple of days ago, but before that was like a month, maybe almost 2 months. I don't need it, but I do like it. And if someone came to me and said, you can make $30 million in the next 10 years, just don't smoke weed. There you go. So, and this asshole in front of me, learn how to fucking drive. If I'd have got killed because of this fucking asshole in front of me going slow, I would have been pissed. So the Browns are going to do what's right. They got new uniforms next year. Can't wait. Better be what better be. I wish they'd change. I wish they'd petition the league to get rid of that name, Cleveland Browns. It is so hard to make orange and brown. You can't. You can't make orange and brown look good. Unless it's an ornament on a Christmas tree or Halloween or something like that. You just can't do it. Why do you think people ask me why I don't wear brown stuff? If I had a fucking team with good colors, a good fucking thing, I'd wear them. Cleveland needs listen, nobody in Cleveland cares about the Cavaliers, whatever, that title we had. No one cares about that. We'd rather have a baseball title. But the main thing we want is a football title. That's all we care about. I have confidence this time they're going to get it right. Because now the coach and GM are going to be on the same page. That's how you got to have it. You can't have a GM come in or a coach come in and be paired with a GM. They did that so many fucking times. Now, I know Dorsey hired his guy, Freddie Kitchens. And I told you why Dorsey hired that guy. Because he didn't want to get fired, which ultimately cost him his job anyway. Dorsey knew that if he brought in a fucking guy, he knew he wouldn't be the focal point no more. If he brought in Mike McCarthy, and sources said he wouldn't come in there if Mike McCarthy was there. If John Dorsey was there, that's why he didn't want to interview last year. That's why they didn't bring him in. Because him and Dorsey ain't friends. But if Mike McCarthy was the head coach and John Dorsey was there, they would have been butting heads. Trust me. So the bottom line is this. Let's look at the facts. Cleveland has the most loaded roster in the National Football League. Fact. They need to address the offensive line and the defensive line. Fact. And that's a 12-win team with the proper coach. Rex Ryan. I would have brought Rex Ryan back. I would even give Eric Mangini a shout out. I would. Mangini could coach. No doubt about it. But this Cleveland Browns team, make no mistake about it, they're going to win next year. They should have won this year. I'll be honest with you. 6 wins with Freddie Kitchens at the helm, that's amazing because he's the worst coach I've ever seen. It's amazing how Cleveland gets the worst coaches ever. If you go back and look at Cleveland's coaches, Hugh Jackson, worst coach ever. Freddie Kitchens, worst coach ever. Mike Patton seems like a Hall of Fame coach right now. Seriously. Rob Chadinsky seems like a Hall of Fame coach right now. Seriously. Romeo Crennel. You know what the sad part is? If we had Greg Williams, and I hate to say this because I didn't want Greg Williams as the head coach, I thought it was Baker and Freddie, but I was wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. If we had Greg Williams this year's head coach, we'd be playing Saturday. Or maybe we'd be playing next Saturday. We might have a first round bye. Be a different fucking team right now. You need discipline as a football coach. Look what Greg Williams did with the injured Jets defense all year. That's all you need to know. I didn't like Greg Williams' defensive schemes, having that fucking, I forget what they called it, but Jabril Peppers 50 yards off the ball. I didn't like that. But he got results when it counted in Cleveland. So that's where we're at in the coaching search. I really don't care. If Stefanski, maybe he's a good coach. I don't know. Maybe I'll get over the fact that he looks like some alcoholic. I don't know. Maybe he don't look like an alcoholic. Maybe I'm just fucked up in the head. Starting to think I am fucked up in the head. Oh, by the way,